Okay, Boris, it's just setting up at the moment. It should be a couple of seconds and we will be going live. Live on 5.
All right.
I believe it should be live now, Boris. So I'll just open this page up. And what?
Yeah, let's check. Yeah. Let's see if it did work.
I'll let you do that, and I'll go and get our guests and admit everyone into the room.
Yeah, I think it's working. It's already for viewers. Perfect.
So I'm just going to.
Guys with us. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Grace, it's so nice to see you.
Hello, it's lovely to see you.
Luca, Alex.
Boris, my
so much
friend.
for being with us.
How are we?
We are good. The tea is ready, so we are ready.
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see all of you guys. So I think we will start with Rose with like a small introduction for those who may not know us. And then we will connect you one by one. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Of course.
So Rose will moderate all technical questions, right? So you can maybe temporarily mute guys so we are not interrupting each other. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Looks as if everyone's just about muted. So welcome everyone, and allow me to introduce myself. My name's Ross. I've been working alongside Boris, and I'm the resident therapist, counsellor on APL retreats, and it's an honour that Boris has asked us to come in and get your view on how you feel ayahuasca has benefited your life since the experience. I'm really looking forward to hearing each of you and how it's impacted each of you differently. So lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet each of you. Hello. I'm looking at you individually. Hello. Those of you that I can see. Hi, Alex. Hi, Grace. Hello.
Indeed. Yeah, guys. So I think most of you know that yesterday we had Thank You Plant Medicine Day, a great occasion when everyone had the chance to share their healing experiences with plant medicine. And that's why we are hosting this circle today, because we want to support this wave of gratitude to the plant medicine and the way how it changed people's lives. So for those who don't know, my name is Boris. I am the owner of APL Shamanic Journeys retreats. So we work legally in Spain. Also, you can visit our retreats in Mexico. Maybe one day you can come to our shaman's place in Peru. And our main intention is to provide the safe space when we honor the traditional approach to ayahuasca and try to preserve traditional ways and the knowledge of people who are living in the Amazon. But as you can see, we also wish to complement the integrational process and the preparational process with our modern understanding, with the modern approach. And that's why we are so happy to work with Mr. Ross and with our other coaches to help you integrate your experience in the right way and as well prepare for the experience in the right way, because in most cases this is the key to fulfill your intention to receive healing, to become a better person. So that's why, Mr. Ross, thank you so much for being with us on the call today and for helping many of our participants to prepare for the experience as well as to integrate this experience. And I think maybe as we just began, I will tell a little bit why me personally is very, hello, Sophie. Why me personally is very grateful to the medicine, because right now we are hosting retreats and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to work with the medicine as much as I want, as many times as I want, and be in a constant connection with the medicine and with shamans. But 9 years ago, when we went to Peru for the very first time, it was an incredible and very unexpected experience for us, for me and for my business partner Sasha, because we didn't know what to expect. There was not as much information about ayahuasca as we do have now, and for us it mostly was some kind of adventure, you know, when we were hoping to find shamans in the middle of the Amazon and to participate in this sacred ceremonies in something that is not easy achievable for many people. So when we came there, we found something else. We found the harmony, we found health, we found wisdom, we found connection, we found purity, we found friendship, we found relationship, we found love. And that's what we found when we started to participate in ceremonies, because we met right shamans there and we created a special bond with them. And that's how medicine works. You know, you're looking for something, but then you understand that your initial intention was maybe just the first step that you can take on this path that you can make. And then this journey is a journey, you know, that will take some, maybe all your life, because this journey doesn't have an end. It will continue and continue and continue. But that's why we appreciate the medicine so much, because it's a part of our life. It's the base of our life. That's the base of my life, something that I can build everything on. So that's why me personally, I'm so much happy to work with the medicine, and I know that so many people are coming to us to receive healing, and that's the results that we are looking for, not just the spiritual journey that people can experience with us, but results on the physical level, on the mental level. When people come to us with an anxiety, with post-traumatic stress disorder, with different problems, and then during the retreat they can receive healing, they can relieve those feelings, they can find the way out, or maybe just to have a guidance, to have an advice how to find the solution. And when it happens, that's the real results that we are looking for. That's what makes us happy, not just the spiritual adventure, but the real healing process, when people can take this path and find happiness and balance and harmony and love. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining us. And as today is a Thank You Plant Medicine Day, give us a note if you're ready to share your journey with us. And if you have any questions to us, because we didn't see each other for some time, we will be more than happy to answer. Yes?
And maybe the way that it would be helpful to do that is if you can find a tab to raise your hand. If that's the best tab, Alex, there is. not the digital one.
I just want to say I'm very jealous of Boris's hair to start off with. I'm very envious, Boris.
That's something that a teacher plant in the Amazonian jungles can give you, you know. There is a plant for everything. So you need to ask Maestro Anael. Maybe he has a trick in his sleeve.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
How are you, my friend? It's been a while. It's been
a long
more than a year.
Yeah, it's been, yeah. I can share my story now if you want.
That would be beautiful.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's been a year and 2 or 3 months, I think, about nearly a year and a half. And yeah, I suffered all my life with trauma from a very early age. I've just discovered from the age of around 6 or 7. I won't go into that now, but from a very early age, trauma. I got in trouble as a 17-year-old and I went to prison. I come out of prison and my world just fell apart again. Serious social anxiety, depression, social anxiety, lost all my friends, didn't have a girlfriend for 15 to 20 years of my life, become a recluse, went traveling to get away from my problems and had some slight relief there. Along my journey, I tried everything you can imagine: acupuncture, hypnotherapy, Prozac, antidepressants, Xanax, every single Western medicine the doctors could throw at me. Just tried everything, just kept going and going and going, and nothing worked. I was so desperate. And towards the end, I was very close to taking my own life. I was literally days away. I've got 2 young boys upstairs and a lovely wife and a lovely dog, and they supported me through it. I lived abroad for 8 years in France, and we come back to England. I lost my dad, and then it all spiraled out of control, and it got very dark. I became very dark, very angry, very aggressive. I started thinking really strangely. I started thinking that the boys will be okay. My wife's Italian. I was thinking the boys will be okay. They can go to Italy. I'm just going to be a burden on their life, because I was so socially anxious. I couldn't go to any functions, take them to any birthday parties. I just couldn't do it. It was all just too much for me. And I thought I would be a burden on their life. And I started thinking they would be better off in Italy without me. I realised now it took me right to the edge. And I still don't know to this day how I ended up at APL retreat, sitting around that swimming pool. I've no idea. I went to book a yoga retreat as my last way out. Or I was going to hang myself in the garage. I was thinking about the rope and everything. I was testing the beams to make sure they were strong enough. And I knew this was my last chance. I was desperate. And I went on the internet to book a yoga retreat. And I heard about ayahuasca on the Joe Rogan show. It was always in the back of my mind, ayahuasca, this thing. And I saw it on this website, and I said, just booked. I said to Leslie, I'm going to do ayahuasca. She said, okay. At that time, she was ringing the doctors while I was at work, crying on the phone, telling them that she's worried I wouldn't come home from work. And they were saying to her, we just can't help you. We don't know how to help you, and there's nothing we can really do for you. We're so busy with other stuff, and we just cannot help you. And she would put the phone down and just cry her eyes out for days, cry herself to sleep at night. And she was so worried about me. And that's how, I'm just trying to explain, that's how far I was to the very, very edge. And yeah, and I went to APL, and after one ceremony, my whole life changed around like that. Just like that. And since that first ceremony, it's taken me a long time to sort of integrate back into life and society. And only now have I really found myself, my calmness, my spirit, who I want to be involved with the medicine. But like that, I've never, ever been anxious once since that first ceremony. Never socially anxious, never thought about killing myself, not once. Never any depression, very, very tiny little bits, and I can notice it straight away and think about it and analyze it and say, there's depression there, but I'm not depressed. It might be something in my life that's not going the way I want it to, and I can figure my way around it and think about it and break it down. I've become a better husband. I was still being a bit selfish, and I've realised I was being selfish and worrying about my own journey with the medicine and the and how I want to get involved in it. And I've even taken a backward step on my journey to let my wife go and heal with the medicine, and she's going to take her turn next. I've become a better dad. I've become a better friend and brought the people I love closer to me, and the people who are hurting me, some of my family members and close family members who are hurting me, my wife and my kids. I've told them that we're just not interested. We just want to be around people who love us the way we love everybody else. And I just cannot thank Boris, APL, Aniel, all of the APL family, the plant medicine, everybody who's involved with it enough. It's literally saved my life. It's saved them 2 little boys' lives up there asleep now. It's saved their life. They would have been without a dad. Their lives would have been a disaster. And I was days away from doing that to them and Leslie, and she would have had to pick up the pieces. Days away from it. It's saved not only my life, my whole family's life. My mum didn't have to bury her son because of it. That's my experience of it. And I'm passionate about it. I want to be involved with it. I want to be around it. I feel the calling stronger and stronger each day. I feel it in my veins. I feel it every day. It's just healed me without me taking the medicine. I don't know. I don't understand how. I'm really connected to it, and it's brought up the old trauma of me as a kid, and it's managed to help me work my way around that without me even taking the medicine, just to set me up for what I'm going to do, hopefully going forward with it and learn. And again, I'm so fortunate I started off on the right foot with the right people who do it the right way. And for that, I just owe them so much. And for what it's done for me, I'm not the kind of person to take so much from it and not give something back. I'm ready to give my whole life back to it, as long as it doesn't obviously take away too much to the 2 lovely boys I've got up there, my wife and my dog Stanley. But it's just done everything for me, and I don't. This can change the world. This can change the world. Everybody you speak to is suffering and mass mental health problems. I know kids who are on antidepressants, families on antidepressants, and I suffered from generational trauma that my mum carried down from her mum, that her mum put onto her. We were suffering from that. And other family members where they couldn't find something to heal them from their trauma, their generational trauma, and you just put it onto your family members, the people closest to you. And I believe that's why this world is on its knees, because people are sick. And if we're sick, the planet's sick. It shattered my materialism like that. It's gone. No more materialism and buying things that I don't need. And we're eating healthier. We're living the right way. Everything. There is no. I cannot see a negative aspect of it. I just cannot see it. I can't see one. It's tough. It's really tough. And coming out of it, especially for me, I see it as the same thing as somebody going in for a brain operation or a mass heart operation, big rehab after. And I see it as the same thing. I've gone through my rehab. I've integrated back in, all through the help of Boris and the lovely group of people who I shared the experience with. And again, they're family members, 4 or 5 of them. They're my family. They are my family. And Boris is my family. Aniel's my family. I'm going to go and see Aniel, and and his family. And yeah, sorry, I get too passionate about it.
Not at all, Alex.
That's so great to see. You know, while you were talking, I was just thinking that the biggest thing I'm thankful to plant medicine is just to have all of you guys who joined us today and all of you who visited our retreats, because this is the biggest inspiration that we are getting. When you're saying things like this, it just melts our heart. It just reminds us that doesn't matter how difficult and challenging it is right now with the pandemic and with the whole situation, to see you guys, to see your faces, to see your passion, to see your love to the medicine, that's something that will always push us forward and will always give us everything we need to continue our work and to continue our journey. So I know that we will see each other, Alex, soon, but I hope even more that the world will open up and you will have a chance to visit Anael in Peru, because
Yeah,
ceremonies is a great beginning, but I know that the dieting process is master plans. That's something that can help you to continue this journey, to find this like constant inner balance and to find strengths to do as much as you can for your boys, because that's the most important thing. The
yeah,
spiritual guys who are looking up for you.
yeah.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
That's okay. I'll just say I've just done the diet for 2 weeks myself, just out of respect, just for the plant, what it's given me and my family and stuff. I've just done the diet to the absolute, to the way it should be done, just for the respect I have for you and everybody involved in it and the medicine and stuff. And yeah, just thanks.
And yourself, and showing yourself that respect, Alex.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Showing yourself that respect. Thank you very much for sharing in the group and leading as pioneer in the group. Oh, thank you very much. I hope to meet you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope to meet you again in person.
Thank you, Alex.
So, thank you.
It just, it reminds me so much of our integrational circles during the retreat, right? It just gives this feeling of the community. And now I'm back in my home country. And, guys, I really miss a lot when we are sitting in Spain or Portugal and just can share all our experiences. So thanks all of you for joining. It just gives us so much inspiration and force to wait for our next retreat. That will, by the way, happen in March, I hope. We will start 16th of March. So let's hope that nothing will stand on our way and we are not gonna have any surprises.
So I'm also mindful of time, and I think we've got, I don't know, 25 people or so in the room. And the next person that I saw, so if we can put our hands up, if anyone is willing to talk. I've got Sharan up there. I'm going to just get you on just now. So I'm just going to unmute you. Hello.
Hello. Hello. I'm Sharan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, and I'm from the UK. I really want to thank Alex because I haven't been to APL retreat.
Yet.
And yet I have booked for April. But I've been having some real anxiety. Can you hear me okay? Because I've got headphones, yeah. I've been having some real anxiety, Ross and Boris, about coming, because I don't know if you remember, Boris, my good friend Ryan. Do you know Ryan contacted you? Ryan contacted you because we'd had a bad experience at a.
And by the way, we're in our room right now, so he's listening as well.
Ryan's here.
Oh, Ryan, are you there?
Yeah, maybe let's unmute Ryan as well.
Oh, hi, Ryan. Yeah, we had a bad experience, and it was my first retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of dark stuff went for me, and I didn't feel safe and held, and so I've got a bit of anxiety, Boris, about coming, but listening to Alex, that's helped a bit. So I guess I'm asking, what could I do to help my journey this time before I come along? Because I did the diets, I did everything, but it was a very difficult time at my last retreat.
Yeah. Well, I know the story from Alex and from Ryan. He told me about
Yes.
what happened
Yes.
on the retreat.
Yes.
And, you know, I don't think that there is a recipe to not feeling the anxiety and just calm down. I think the most important thing is to remember that it's okay to feel anxious about the experience.
Yes.
Because you can transform this feeling into the respect for the process.
Yes.
Because, you know, sometimes people are coming and they're so bold and they are not worried at all, but it's just because they don't have the respect for the process. They think that, oh, that's not a big deal. But ayahuasca is a big deal.
Yes.
And you always have to be ready for the change that can come.
Yes.
And that ayahuasca can show us that maybe we don't want to see. And this is a part of the process. That's the beauty of ayahuasca, that it's always in balance. It always shows us two sides. It can show us our maybe dark side on one ceremony and the divine part on another one. And then we can find balance between. So I think that the most important thing is just to form the intention, to build up respect, try to trust to your decision, and to have as much information as possible about the provider of the retreat, of people who host the retreat. Because, you know, I talked with Ryan about it. A lot of people are willing to join us, and they are contacting us, and they're asking about accommodations, they're asking about meals, they're asking about transfers, but they never ask about the shaman. They never ask who's going to be the shaman, who is going to guide the ceremony, who is this person, what kind of education he had. And this is, I think this is a mistake, because this is the vital part, maybe the most important part of the experience. Who is going to be the people facilitating, who is going to be the shamans, who is going to guide the retreat. And that's why we have a lot of videos, and we try to provide to provide the feeling of the work that we are doing. So for you,
I watched the video with the shaman.
For you, the most important thing right now, I think, is to try to connect with us and to trust us. Because when we're already on the retreat, trust me, we will do our best for you to make you feel comfortable. And you're going to be there with Ryan, who already is with us. So don't be anxious. There's going to be an amazing journey that not many people have an opportunity to have. And you will. You will meet incredible guys and the good shaman and everything gonna be.
And I'm asking the mother to let us come, because we're so locked down in the UK at the moment. So I'm asking every day, please let me come.
Don't worry, it will happen. If it's not gonna happen, then you will just feel for the next upcoming retreat without any problems.
I'd like to thank you, everyone, for listening to me, and to Boris and Ross, and to apologize. I have to work tonight. So I really do have only another 5-10 minutes, then I have to leave the call.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you. And hi to Ryan. Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. So the next person that had that,
our respected moderator of the chat.
the next person we have up is Sophia. I'm just going to unmute. Or can you unmute? Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to start off saying something to Sharon, following her questions.
Microphone. Okay, stupid.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So no, just because Sharon. Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of say I had all of the same concerns and the same fears going in as Boris, you will remember probably. So I was extremely nervous, and like a week before I had everything booked, and then a week before I totally panicked and freaked out and wanted to cancel. And Boris was able to reassure me, to kind of give me the faith to kind of do it anyway. So, but still, when I arrived, I was so scared. I was really nervous, super anxious about it. I had the lucky kind of, I guess, just a good luck of catching a ride with Mark, who had also done it like 5 times. So he was able to tell me stories about his experiences and how passionate he is about everything, and that helped kind of ease me into it as well. And then I arrived and I met Boris and Sasha and the shaman and was able to talk to all of them. And yeah, I just want to reassure you, I had all of the same fears, and it was completely unnecessary. And even to I think the main thing is just kind of also being open to it and being respectful of it. I think to me, growing up in India, I kind of had a deep respect for like the nature and kind of the power of plants and stuff. So I almost kind of feared it because I feared how powerful it might be, and that maybe kind of was part of it as well. And yeah, the first ceremony for me was kind of, because I think I was still a bit closed. I was still not that open and didn't have that trust opened up yet. And it was when I like kind of really let my guard down and opened and was trusting that in kind of the second ceremony I really had a breakthrough. And yeah, it's not all kind of roses and sunshine. It's obviously can be heavy as well, but yeah, I could relate to so much of what you just said and your fears about going into it. So I just wanted to catch you before you leave and just kind of try and reassure you from my side. Yeah, that was kind of the first part, really. Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie. That's always so important for everyone who never participated to listen to those who did, because that's something that really takes the anxiety away. Thank you so much for helping, Sharon.
Thank you.
So the second part is gonna be.
Oh. Yeah, I think well, the second part was just kind of to share. I think, Boris, we haven't really spoken since a little bit after I left. So I did my retreat with you guys end of October in Spain. So it was what, 3.5, 4 months, something like that. So quite recent, still probably compared to a lot of other people here. And yeah, like I just said, I kind of went into it super scared. I've been wanting to do it for a couple of years and just kind of never felt like I found somewhere that I could trust enough. And then even when I thought I had, I still panicked, but then I kind of finally did it. And kind of similar to Alex's experience, I am pointing that way because that's where he is on my screen. But yeah. Similar to Alex, I've kind of been through, I mean, not the same degree, but I don't know, you can never compare. I'd kind of been through years and years of trying all sorts of medication, treatments, everything that, kind of Western medicine has to offer, for about at least 12 years, and kind of reached the maximum of what was on offer. And kind of, again, tried everything else, kind of done all the mindfulness, yoga, doing all of that and trying to just do it myself. And then finally I built up enough courage to be able to do the retreat in October. And I think the big difference for me it felt like from all the therapy and everything I had done up until that point, I understood rationally what I had to do, or I understood rationally what my challenges and my issues were, but I didn't feel them. And it was kind of in ceremonies that I actually kind of, somehow it fell into place, and I was like, now I feel what the answer is, and I feel what I need to do, rather than just logically knowing it. And that was just, that kind of really took me kind of the next kind of level. And and then coming back, doing kind of the integration from it. Obviously, a big part of it was also my relationship with my father. So I hadn't spoken to him for 10 years. I had had like no contact. And then I came back, and with advice from Sasha and Roman, and you, Boris, I got in touch. I had the courage to open up and be vulnerable and reach out, and sent him basically this long 6-page letter explaining everything that I thought, that I felt, bracing myself for the worst possible response, which didn't come. He responded in a wonderful way, and we've been speaking ever since, for the first time in 10 years, and are gradually building a new relationship. I wouldn't say it's like same, but I wouldn't want it to be, but like building a new connection, which we haven't had in over 10 years. And I don't think I would have had the courage or the kind of emotional understanding of what I needed to do it and to stick with it and follow through with it, if I hadn't had the experience with you guys in October. And so thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, that's the real change. It's for me, it's always more about some particular steps, something that we managed to change in our life. Maybe people we contact, maybe some relationships that we can restore, maybe something that we can really change in our everyday life. That's what matters. I think sometimes it matters even more than some divine understanding of reality. You know, something particular, something that we can really measure, something that can bring us happiness right now. So it's just an amazing story. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
It's been a while, because we didn't see most of people for, I think, more than a year, especially with this pandemic, and you were one of the lucky ones who did manage to come during this challenging time. So thank you so much for your courage as well.
No, it was amazing. It was wonderful. And I can't wait to join you guys again and see you all again.
I hope this lockdown is going to end someday in the UK, and we can all...
Oh, don't do it in the UK. The weather's terrible. Do it. Nice.
No, I mean, people can fly out, because now it's so challenging, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one who would say we love coming to Spain or Portugal. Like, don't worry. You don't need to come here. We'll come there.
Oh, that's funny. That's good. I like your attitude.
Thank you so much, Sophie. Thanks a lot for
sharing. Thank you, guys.
It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you. So the next person that had their hand up was Sergio. I'm going to come over to Sergio and just unmute you now, and then Grace after Sergio. Grace.
Hey guys, thanks, Ross.
Hello, Sergio.
Hey, Boris. So my ayahuasca experience wasn't, nothing fancy, to be honest. It was exactly what I needed to see. It wasn't like too flamboyant. I didn't even have any visions or anything. But I'd like to share a perspective that I think it's really important, particularly about integration, what happens afterwards. Because I did the ayahuasca retreat back in 2019, I think, in June in Portugal. It wasn't, I didn't go there to heal any trauma from my past or anything, but rather just, I had the feeling that something wasn't right. I was kind of lost in my life without any purpose, if that makes sense. But just went there to take care of that. What I noticed since then is, so I did the retreat in Portugal. What I noticed since then, and what I'd like to highlight here is, Mother Ayahuasca can show you the way and show you the path that you might want to walk, but it's still your decision to walk that path, if that makes sense. So it's not a magic pill. It's not a shortcut as well. It's very important that you understand that after the retreat, you still have to do your part of the job, if that makes sense. In my case, I decided to do daily meditation twice a day, but that's just what I decided to do. Other people might have other techniques. I think it's really important that you do your part of the job. Mother Ayahuasca shows you and might help you kickstarting the process, but you still need to do your part, if that makes sense. I just like to share that because I've been speaking with a lot of my friends that did ayahuasca and then do it over and over, thinking that whatever they need to fix in their life depends on external circumstances, when the key is always inside, right? So I think it's really important to do that internal job with yourself, because at the end of the day, the key to everything, to fix everything, it's really inside of us, isn't it? I think some of you already understand that concept, and that's just a perspective I'd like to share rather than just my actual ayahuasca experience. That's all. Hope that makes sense.
Perfect sense.
Thank you, Sergio. You just, took words from my mouth. Because, that's exactly what I think, because sometimes people are coming and they're thinking that this is the ultimate solution, this is the shortcut, this is the silver bullet. They put all the responsibility for their lives on ayahuasca shoulders. They're so passive during the experience, during the ceremony, during the integrational process, and then sometimes people feel unsatisfied. But the reason is not the ayahuasca, the reason is that it's us who need to take responsibility for the change.
Absolutely.
Take responsibility for our life. In the end of the day, it's only us who is going to make the change. Ayahuasca can only show us different possibilities, different opportunities, different directions in our lives that we can follow. But it's us who need to make a step, to make a real decision. So thank you so much for this statement, because I think especially for those who are going to watch our stream afterwards and they never participated, like Sharon, who joined, who was speaking before you, this is the most important thing to know before joining the retreat. The responsibility is all yours. Ayahuasca is a tool that we can show how to use, but you will make a step. So thank you so much for highlighting it. I think it's vital. It's really important.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Sergio. Thank you. Thank you for speaking. Hi, Grace. I'm just going to come straight over to you. Although I'd like to say with Boris, that's Sergio's raised a very poignant marker for anyone listening to this on playback.
But Ross, just one more thing. I still remember to this day the pain I had in my back for that yoga session with Celeste that made me stretch to some limits I wasn't used to. I still remember the pain I had in my back. So thanks for that, Celeste, as well. Just nice to see you. That's all.
And do you remember that you were trying to give up smoking, or?
I took care of all of that. Smoking, alcohol, drugs, all.
So you're not smoking anymore?
Nope, I'm not.
Wow.
I'm clean.
I think that's the result, because I was a smoker many years ago when I just started to drink ayahuasca, and I remember how difficult it is to give up, to just stop this habit. And the fact that you did, and I remember how much you wanted to do it. You had hundreds of people, but I do remember that you really wanted, you were intended to give up on it. And
it was the toughest one, but yeah, all done, really. I'm done.
Sergio, thank you so much for your will to do it. That's not an easy thing to do. And that just reminds us how powerful ayahuasca is when we are ready to make a step. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, don't forget to send us hands up if we can connect you to the chat.
Grace is next up.
Hello.
Great. Sweetheart, hello.
Hello, it's nice to see you again, Boris. I don't know where I'd start, so I'll just say what I feels most important, what I got from the experience. Well, I've had a lot of fear throughout my life, kind of anxiety, and at some points I'd felt like I didn't know if I could cope with my life. And in the experience with the ayahuasca, it was as though I knew there was no escape from life, no matter what you try and do. And even if I wasn't in this body, things would still continue. So I've got to give it my best shot no matter what. So it's there's always going to be tough times in your life, but you've got to just do your best to get through it, because your soul's going to go somewhere else and have a hard time if you don't face things in this life. Because I feel like I saw my soul would carry on living even if I wasn't in my human body, if that makes sense. And also I had a time in the experience where I got to see people in my life how they are with the outside stripped away, and it was as though I could see them in a spiritual sense and understand them better, rather than my perspective being put onto them. So it was it gave me a clearer perspective in my life, in all my relationships with people. And now I feel more giving a loving approach to everybody, even people that have hurt me or I think are not very kind to others. I can see them in a different light. But also I feel as though every day is a kind of ayahuasca experience. It's an ongoing learning experience, and I have these times where it's as though my soul is looking out, and it's not through my brain. I don't know how to explain it, but I have these moments and it's I remember it's a spiritual experience that I'm living in, and I'm learning lessons through all the difficulties I go through. And it's the same as when you've got the plant medicine in the ceremony, you're learning through all the difficulties, and it's it feels as though life feels like that since the ceremony, and it makes it more positive when I'm going through a hard time, because I see the lesson in the hard time now. And that's mainly what I wanted to say. And thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. It's just beautiful, and it's beautiful to see you. You know, you look great.
Thank you.
No, it's true, and I think that you have a point, because ceremony never ends when we are saying that the ceremony is finished, right? In the reality, it continues, and that's what I mean when I am saying that before participating in ceremonies, we always has to be ready to take the responsibility for our decision. And responsibility means that we are ready to integrate the experience we are getting. And the integrational process is about our everyday life. Day by day, something new happens, some new understanding happens, some situations arise when we can finally have a chance to act differently, to think differently, to find another ways to be in harmony with ourselves, right? So when you're saying that each day for you is a small continuation of the ceremony, that's just exactly reflects all my thoughts about ayahuasca, because all our life is one huge ceremony in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When we come to the ceremony, we have all these rules, you know, all this guidance that let's not speak with each other, let's mind our own space, let's build up trust, respect, surrender to the experience. But we can reflect it to our everyday life. It's all the same.
Yeah.
We need our respect to life. We need our trust. We need to surrender to some situations, not in a way of just giving up, but in a way of accepting stuff that are happening with us. Because as human beings, we deserve love, we deserve problems, we deserve grief, we deserve everything, because it's all different representations of our lives. And that's what ayahuasca is teaching us. And that's what we can use after the retreat. So do you feel like your life is happier now? That you're kind of in harmony more than you were before?
I do. Yeah, and even though I get scared of bad things happening, it's more like I just accept, but that had to happen, so I would learn this lesson rather than feeling like a victim from it all, like learning from it instead.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Thank you. It was nice to. It's nice to see you again too.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just, I think the whole point of the circle is to see each other, because I really miss all of you guys, especially considering the fact that, as I told you, we can't host as many retreats as we did before the pandemic, and we are missing this feeling so much. So once again, thanks all of you for coming to our circle and to sharing your stories. That's a blessing for us to have all of you. Thank you, Grace, for your story.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you. I'm going to mute you. And I'd asked for hands to come up, and I saw that no hands have come up. So I'm just going to go straight to Amanda and unmute Amanda.
Our beloved team member who is separated from us because of the pandemic.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I've been listening the whole time. So I was actually running around listening, and it was really beautiful to see some of your faces. It was so nice. I'm in New York.
Hello, New York.
I'll show you a picture really quick.
Oh, please.
That's Central Park.
Oh.
So nice. But I've been feeling good. I actually have been microdosing. So it's been really nice for my body to kind of clean up, because, when it's cold and we start to eat heavy and drink sometimes, I was like missing this connection. So I started microdosing, and it's strong for me to connect. It's actually very strong. So some nights I have to almost prepare myself like a ceremony. But I set an intention every time, even if it's just to give me strength to go through this week, because I've been very busy with my weeks here. But I'm surprised at the strength of this. It's been really enjoyable. So now we're working on some workbooks for everybody that comes on retreats. So we're going to offer something similar to like a psychedelic journal. So when you guys come, you will have like a small booklet that you can choose to use, and it'll be like intention setting. And then after that, Ross has talked a lot about this 2-week afterglow period, and that's when you need to lock in some of these things, but make it more broken down than just like, okay, I want to go be a pilot. Actually breaking it down into weeks, and then you can follow yourself for accountability, or Ross and I can help you with that. So the main thing is making it into like bite-sized chunks for integration, and not such a big thing, because it can be very overwhelming coming back. The world doesn't drink Aya with us, unfortunately. So, once you come back home, it can be a little bit unsettling. And that's why we want to help you guys really slowly go back into it, make meaningful changes in your life, and really be there for each other.
Thank you so much, Amanda. So perhaps you can also share with us a little bit what you are thankful for.
What I'm thankful for?
Yeah, because you have a pretty amazing story, how you came to ayahuasca.
Oh, so you want me to go to the story, or you just want to know what I'm thankful for?
Just in a short way.
I mean, I'm thankful for Sasha and Boris and Nael, our first shaman, because they pretty much saved my life, even though I thought my life was perfect. I had everything under control. And I went to plant medicine, not the ideal way. I was on my way to, like, I went to India for a while. I went to Lebanon on a cleanse. So I was just kind of going where I felt to work with my post-traumatic stress disorder from the war. And I had felt that I had really worked through this, but on one particular retreat, which was a deep tantra yoga, so nothing sexual, just being in a dark room for 12 hours a day, meditating. A lot of people were connecting to this and I couldn't get there. And I remember this guru said, you know, sometimes people need to take plants to reach this. And I had never heard about ayahuasca. And I was like, what are these plants he's talking about? Maybe I'm one of those people. So I honestly typed in that day in the computer and found the guy's first retreat ever in Europe. And they had one spot left, a shared room. And Boris wrote to me at that time, like, normally people plan for this and they're like dieting. And I was out that dinner in Switzerland with wine and cheese. And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm planning, like, I know what I'm doing. And so when I showed up, I had no idea what I was doing. And I was really scared, but the community of that group was incredible because everybody was talking about what they had done in their life, like LSD or acid. And I had done nothing because I was in the military. So I really, at that point in my 30s, thought, why try anything? I've made it this far. So listening to their stories about what they think it was going to be like started to, like, really shake me at my core. But, you know, the main thing that I've learned is trusting in yourself, and also finding one of the facilitators or team members to trust. You should never drink if you go somewhere else, if you have an uneasy feeling and think that, oh, I've done this before, I can handle it. You have to trust at least one person that you know will be there for you. It will just make your journey a little easier. And in the event of a difficult trip, you have someone that will be stabilizing. So if you go in and you don't jive with anybody and you look at the people, like two Russians and an American girl, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, that will come up in your trip and it can start to freak you out a little bit. So when we say trust, respect, and surrender, this is what we mean by trust. So I had 3 journeys and they were everything that you could ever wish for. It still is emotional for me. And at that time we did San Pedro, which is something that I would love to bring back in one of my retreats for people to try. It's a very different type of medicine. It's a very masculine type of healing, not as deep with your emotional feelings or post-traumatic stress or some of traumas, but it can be a lighter type and show you the way in some cases. So from that moment, I knew I was going to be somehow a part of this. And at that point, San Pedro had showed me how I could make myself kind of indispensable to these Russians, so I would be able to work with them. And ever since then, I've been studying. I've just graduated from another recovery addiction class that was almost a year long. So I'm just constantly learning about integration because it is the most important part. It is more important than the journey. And the more you can do before will just make it that much better. And the more you can do after will actually really get those habits and everything into daily integration. And then you won't have this kind of bumpy road at the end because you know you've already pre-written it down, you've already spoken with somebody, you've put in words or in writing, and then you can go through it and refer back to it, which is very important. So that's kind of what I will speak about always from now on is the pre-integration. And even if it's just one coaching session with Ross, or if it's with me, either way, if it's just one, we can actually like really help you pinned down, because we all have a lot of things we want to fix in our life. But normally they really come down to one or two issues in my experience. It can be love, loving yourself, or understanding what love is. So once you understand that it's really these two issues, then you can focus in on that. And when you ask Aya, regardless of what she gives you, because sometimes most of you know that you don't get the exact answer, but you do get an answer. And later on, after you're out of the experience, you understand why that answer came, and it has something to do with your original intention. So that's why it's good to have this written down and kind of talk through it, and talk through how you've dealt with other issues in your life. If you have anxiety, how you normally deal with it. If you have panic attacks, because those normally do come up with Aya. To heal it, you have to go through it. So integration is my life right now. But I'm thankful. I'm actually thankful for this time with COVID. It's awful. I've lost family members, but I was able to really focus and ground myself and kind of not living from retreat to retreat, which is a beautiful life. But sometimes we need to understand that, as nice as that is, we need to set down a life for ourselves, really focus, and then go to the retreats. And they are as much work as it is like a vacation for us. Like, we're helping people, we're helping you guys learn to heal yourselves. We get to interact with different cultures. So for COVID, it's been really important for me, but I miss my two Russians so much. Like, they know it. We talk every day and we yell at each other every day. So it's really been fun, but we are ready to get back to work. Anywhere, anytime. I'm there.
Indeed we are. Thank you so much, Amanda. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Just muting.
So let's get back to our beloved participants.
Yeah, I'm going to come over here. I'll get you.
I can see Rob raising his hand.
Yeah. We've got,
I have my eye on all of you.
Too. Are you up, Amanda? Hi. Rob in a minute. Oh, sorry. I've got Anandra. Hello. Can't hear you.
Who are you calling?
It's okay. I'll cut to Rob. Hi, Rob.
Okay, I didn't know it was on me, sorry.
Sorry, it's okay. Hi.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you all. We could see Boris and Amanda again. I thought I'd probably talk about how it's been since, not last November, but the November before, before when we had the ceremony. I was in a bit of a bad place before it. I had 3 journeys. First one, there's bits of toughness and goodness in there. The second one was quite tough, and it took me a bit of courage to go into the third one. I almost didn't do it, but the integration circles definitely help after each ceremony. It's kind of, you just recognize how different it is for different people, and if someone's had a bad night the first night, that's not necessarily the same way it's going to go on the other nights. So that was really helpful, and of course Boris and Amanda were just amazing help from the second journey that was quite tough for me. The third journey was just everything I could ask for. It was what it says on the box kind of thing for ayahuasca, and just since then it kind of, the experience kind of opened me up really, sort of much more spiritually. Been doing much more yoga, eating much more healthily. It really opened up my sort of intuition much more as well. Lots of sort of synchronicity type events happening, or at least you can tune into that feeling of synchronicity when you know you're kind of on the right path, and notice little signs that are coming up that help you feel you're on the right path. There's been times where the signal kind of from Aya kind of dips out and then comes back in again. And it's like the third ceremony is kind of like this little fractal lesson that I can look back on and kind of, yeah. In fact, in the third ceremony, I was told that, you know, life goes in that way, the same way that my ceremonies kind of went. There was a couple of tougher ones, and then you have a good one, and things happened that way for that reason, because you're meant to learn certain lessons at certain times. So when the signal goes out, I can kind of get better habits again and find my way back to her and hear the signal a lot clearer. I did the microdosing with ayahuasca from Boris. That was quite an interesting experience. I did the diet leading up to it, and it was this, I think it was a 5 or 6 night one where you had the SoundCloud clip of Ane. The ceremonies are made, I think of the ceremonies and the people that I met there and Ane almost daily since pretty, I'd say, you know, 99.9% every day. Something about those ceremonies come back. But the microdosing, that was pretty interesting. That was sort of last April-ish sort of time, but my memory is bad with dates like that. I think after the ceremony in November to that time, I just couldn't believe the experience, and doing the microdosing, kind of, I got this message of taking ayahuasca off the pedestal a little bit and to have more personal responsibility for integration. Because since November, I'd been doing sort of daily thankful things, and you know, because it had a massive impact on my life. But it was really interesting to get that message, which wasn't really what I was expecting to receive from the microdosing. Then that's a lesson in itself. So it was just teaching me more, but to have more personal responsibility, the integration, and not kind of what it sort of came to me. Ayahuasca didn't change you, it only showed you a frequency that you can be in. You have to kind of make that, like Boris says, you have to put the work in yourself afterwards, and you can notice when you do and when you don't. I think that's all I've got to say, really. It's just wicked to see you all. Really cool to see you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's and it's so important for me that you mentioned microdosing. You know, I like to call it dietas, because you kind of follow the rules and trying to tune in with the plant. But thanks so much for mentioning it. It's really important for us. And the guitar on the background is reminding me that you're an incredible musician. So how do you think, did it affect your music style, like the way
Yeah.
you...
Yeah, and that was a big thing from the third ceremony of those times. She really connected me back with my music and my love of music, and to kind of follow that. And definitely it's correct. I was a little bit psychedelic with stuff that I do anyway, but it kind of crept in a little further, and there's kind of another mental space that I can access when I'm playing, to kind of get out of your way a little bit and just follow the path of where the energy is, or whatever. That was a huge interesting part of the third ceremony, watching Ane, and well, obviously it was totally dark. I could kind of see him in my mind's eye almost, and going over to that part of the room to adjust the energy, and you could see what he was doing. I lost thread of what I was talking about, sorry.
No, I think that's important because, sometimes people are thinking about this kind of huge changes in their lives and things that they want to attract, but sometimes we forget about the inspirations that ayahuasca can bring. It doesn't matter if we are a musician or we paint or we create, doesn't matter what it is. Maybe we are just working in the marketing in the big company, but the inspiration is so important. And that's also something that participation in ceremonies can bring to us, can remind us that to create is one of the purpose of our lives. It doesn't matter what it is, what we create, but we need to create. That's how we fulfill our destiny as human beings. To create a company or to create friendship or to create healthy relationship or music. It's all about creation when we are making something out of nothing. So that's why I asked you about your music, because that's one of the sides, one of the reflections of the big process that can happen after ceremonies when we get inspired, and it changes everything.
It really does. I'm thankful every day, like I say. Thank you to yourselves and thank you, Plant Medicine.
Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing. It's so lovely to see you.
And you, Boris.
Thank you.
Andra. Where is
she?
I'm looking for Andra. She's staying there. She's moving around.
For Andra.
Galaxy. I don't know.
She's hard to find even when she's on retreats.
Yeah, it's just exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Messaging everyone in WhatsApp. She's messaging 3 people at the same time.
She's always connected.
She's messaging me on Messenger, and then it's like,
maybe she doesn't even know where she is.
All right, maybe someone send us a hint.
I think the persons that you're looking for may be under one of the phone names, like Galaxy Tab S2.
Yeah, Galaxy Tab S2, but it's...
Andrew, if you're here, send us a message in the chat.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
So you can hear me now?
Yes.
Lovely. Hello, soul family. I love you so much. I miss you. I miss you so much. I'm going to start work soon. I'm on night shift, so I just want to say hello to everybody. I'm so happy to see you all. Just a few words. I am grateful for starting this journey with you and with Ross. So Ross here, I started my journey. We started the journey together. I'm so thankful for that. I remember one thing, Amanda, I don't know if you remember, after my 3rd ceremony, you came to me and you asked me, so tell me something. And all I could say it was, oh, she showed me that we know each other since forever. So that was my I don't know, bottom line after the 3rd ceremony. It wasn't easy at all for me. But yeah, it's changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. I've got some childhood traumas. My mother died when I was 1 year old. Then I lost my grandparents who raised me. I had big problems with drugs. I had 4 toxic, abusive relationships. Guys, do you remember my black eye when I got to my first retreat? Yeah, so it was a life-changing experience. I have 2 retreats, almost 3. Boris knows what this is about, but I've got 2 retreats with APL, and I've got a family now. I'm not alone anymore. I've got a soul family. I've got you guys. Since ayahuasca, I don't have any depression moments. I don't. There are times when I cry, but it's only because I resonate with stories like this, or because I'm happy or I'm emotional, but I'm not sad anymore. I don't, no matter where I am, no matter how lonely I am, I'm not alone anymore. I've got you, I've got Mother Aya. And mind you, I don't have visuals yet, so I don't know. I can't imagine how it will be when I'll get more of that, but I'm okay with what Mother Aya gives me. I know she always gives me what I need, and she won't give me, oh, Boris, remember you telling me you can do this, you're stronger than you think, you can do this, you're gonna be okay. So yeah, now I know I'm gonna be okay. I am okay. I can't wait to see you again. I'm a happy person now. People that know me since like a long time ago, they're like, oh my God, you're changed. Like your eyes, your energy, your vibration, you're happy. People that don't know me, they come to me and tell me, oh, you're full of joy. It's like your energy. You're just, so yeah, I don't need any validation. Don't misunderstand me, but it's nice. It's nice that people can feel this change in me. So yeah, I just want to say I'm so grateful to have met you, and I can't wait to meet you, to see you again. I would love to get to Peru. I don't know if this year would be possible, but I have to go to Peru to see Anael. I miss Anael so, so, so much. And Amanda, Celeste, I love you. You are amazing. I can't wait to see you again. And Sasha, he's not here with us, but I have to mention his name. So my last ceremony, the sixth one, the only one that I managed not to get into the loop, it was Sasha and Luca, my friend. Hello, Luca. Sasha told me, look, Andra, you have to stop paying so much attention to everything else around you. You have to focus on yourself and your journey and go inside. So yeah, and Sasha and Luca told me, there's no loop, Andra, there's no loop. You are making that loop. It's all you. So if you decide there's no loop, you cannot go into it. So yeah, this is what I remembered. I don't know if it makes any sense to you, but this is what I felt like I need to share with you. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You've got this amazing team there. They're very supportive. They know exactly what they're doing. I thought I was going to die, but then Boris was there, Amanda was there, Celeste, Sasha, everybody. No, it's okay. They've got you. They've got you. So don't be afraid. It can only get you through what you're going through. So yeah, don't be afraid. That's it. Love and light to everybody. Thank you. I'm gonna have to leave you in 5-10 minutes to start work, but I will see you soon.
Nice to see you, Andra. Thank you.
Signing in our chat. You're amazing. Your energy just, it's so nice to see you, and you look great.
Thank you.
You're so full of energy, and I think you said such nice words. And maybe guys know, I tell it many times that once we talked with a really elderly old shaman in Peru, and we were asking him why he is drinking ayahuasca in his 90s, and he was like, guys, you can't even imagine what it is to live under the umbrella of ayahuasca when you feel connected with her, how much protected you feel, how you can feel that everything that happens in your life has meaning. It just takes you to something that maybe you don't know yet, but you're always in this connection. You're never alone. And when you told all of us about your experience, it just reminded me about that conversation, and the fact that that's true. When we manage to create a good relationship with the medicine, we never feel alone. That's an amazing thing. Thank you so much.
I love you so much, all of you.
I love you as well. This rain will end with all this COVID and stuff, and we'll see each other.
Yes.
Absolutely, we will.
That will.
Have a great night, too. Thank you.
I'm looking around for some hands. Is there anyone? Frederick, can you unmute?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi to those that know me and those that don't know me yet. I've had the honor of participating in no less than 5 retreats. And the greatest thing about it is seeing the APL guys getting more and more professional each time and adding layer upon layer. Like Amanda just told us about what she's working on now, the pre and post integration book. That's a great idea. Every retreat was just right. And I also very luckily stumbled upon it. I was just for laughs, I was Googling, I think yoga retreats, ayahuasca retreats, yoga and ayahuasca retreats Europe. Like, what? Portugal? Okay, let's do this. And it went on from there. I kept going back, kept going back, kept going back. But sometimes it's good to leave a bit of time between retreats to integrate. It's not always good to consider it as a magic pill, but how should I compare? It's more of a, she opens the door, you have to walk through, and that's the kind of thing, and that's what I'm still doing. And it might not fix you outright, but it might help you realize about what you can fix, and that's a very big step towards healing, you know. And it's very general. It goes, you know, it can be about anything that you personally need, if it's addiction problems or anxiety or social anxiety. It has incredible value, and I'm happy to see the family expand also. And I would love to see all of you back sometime. Yeah, so that concludes my participation for this chat. I mean, I'm finished talking for now. So
Thank you.
And what is because you have been there, you were on my first retreat ever, so we've stayed in a lot of contact. But you know, you've had some really good journeys and then some really difficult journeys, and then also some just okay. But out of all of that, what is one of the main things you've taken that you've also been able to integrate into your life? Because I know there is, we've talked through a lot of these things.
Oh, geez, where do I start? I should have brought my notes. I think confidence and self-love. Yeah. I think
I was going to say like self-esteem, and then also having the like feeling this strong enough to go through it and feeling your own worth, which I think is a huge thing that everybody struggles with, which we don't realize. But like knowing that you are worth it and that you do have something to give to society. That your analytical brain and way of thinking is an asset. It's not, doesn't make you weird or anything. It's actually very good. So
I found a creative outlet in blogging. I wrote about an experience actually with microdosing from APL.
It's a very good read.
Yeah, which I did in October or November, which APL were kind enough to provide me with. Very good stuff, very good stuff, very good to reconnect. And even now, I don't know if it's because the microdosing or the earlier ayahuasca, but still in certain periods in my life now, I get these weird dreams, or I get like waves of inspiration. It just comes and goes, and I can't wait till the next wave hits.
It's so nice. I mean, Boris can also, whenever we see you, it's like you always looked great and you were always like in good shape and very regimented. But every time we started to see you, you kind of had like this relaxed vibe where there was your own music going on in your head and you were kind of like, yeah, I've got this. And even now, it's so, I'm just so happy to see that because you're a dear friend to me. And so I'm happy I can see the changes in you. I know you can. You've done some things this last year that you would have never been able to do before the medicine. So I think it's great. I miss you.
Miss you too. Miss you all.
Thank you, Frederick. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's nice to see you. I didn't see you for a while, and you're just getting better and better. You know, you look great, really great. And we do miss you. So I hope soon we will be able to reconnect. Thank you so much for writing the feedback for the microdosing. It's a great read, and the research that you made and the way how you put it into words, it's just amazing. When I was reading it, I was just thinking, oh my God, Frederick did an amazing job. So thanks a lot. I never had a chance to thank you personally, but
Fred, if you want, you could write it in the chat because we
course.
don't have it anywhere. So just the blog link into the chat and here for people to read it. It gives you
All
a
right,
really
I'll
good
do it
idea
now.
on what
Yes,
micro did.
Sophia. Sorry, Amanda. Sophia's just asked where you would find it. So
Oh, perfect.
People are asking about your blog, Frederick.
Okay, just a
You all
moment.
want to
He's gonna
read it.
put it on there. It's already being done. It's perfect.
Good. Good. I'm mindful of time. We've been running for an hour and a half, which is great. We've covered loads of ground and got some amazing stories from people, which I know that each one of them, for people that are going to be listening back on catch up, are going to really be able to connect with the stories. And I think that it would be all very helpful for people going forward. So just bearing in mind, mindfully for time, is there anyone that's hand burning to speak?
I have like a really hot burning question, particularly for you, Ross and Boris.
Okay.
When is this fight against our ego done? When are we done with this? Does that make sense?
Ever.
Because it's really tireless. It tires me to fight this guy like on a daily basis. So is this ever going to be over or not really?
So can I say something to that in your language?
You can.
Anything that you fight, you empower. So anything that you fight, you empower. So the minute you accept that it's there, then there's a form of surrender in that. It's almost like the difference between Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido, where in Aikido what we do is we go with the energy of the opponent and then the opponent will fall. Whereas when we're using karate, we're using force against force. And your language was, this fight on a daily basis is just exhausting. So you sort of answered your own question there, Sergio. You know, you're in a fight and it's exhausting. And that's going to keep the struggle going. But the minute that you can look at your ego in the eye as what it is, and there's so much controversy around the ego as being this negative thing, like it's this really negative thing, but actually in its form, it's set up to protect us. But then once we've given it that job to protect us, even just for a moment, it becomes power hungry very quickly. And then what it does is it disempowers the heart or the soul or the higher mind or whatever terminology you choose to use. That the higher mind will find a solution on its own, but the ego is continually trying to protect. It's almost protecting with its own best interest at heart as well. It's quite a manipulative character that will slither and shape and wrap itself around you to give you the illusion that it's got your best interests at heart. But that's only a momentary lapse in time, because once it's given you the protection, it becomes power hungry and it starts to develop, it starts to devour us. Is that helpful? Sorry, I jumped in, Boris. He was asking both of us.
No, it does. I see it as a tool as well, but I feel that I always need to keep it in check, like every minute, so it doesn't take over, if that makes sense.
But again, if I were to come in on that, if you're looking at it and having to keep it in check, then you're in prison to it. To give you an example, it's almost like somebody like, and you know, I've been working on a journey of sobriety for 27 years, and I genuinely don't count it. But so many people continually count it. That's me another month sober. I'm another month sober. That's me a year sober. That's me 15 months sober. They're actually not sober because they're just spending their time counting the time that they're sober. So it's like, if you're keeping your ego in check, then you're actually paying attention to it. When you pay attention to it, you're empowering it. So it's about learning to have one foot with it, because it's always going to be there, and one foot in the river, rather than having to keep it in check, because then that still sounds tiring. It sounds as if you've got a job over and above your 9 to 5. You're also working and keeping your ego in check. That means your ego's got you in check and you're caught in a double bind. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
And I have a question. What is, when you say keep your ego in check on like a daily basis, what is, can you give me an example on like a business transaction, or how you talk to your wife? How does that look?
Mainly in business, because I think I need my ego to do my daily operations and business and all that kind of stuff. But I then need to get out of that matrix, let's call it, and go back to myself. And that's why I use meditation twice a day, to get out of that movie and go back to my inner self. But I notice, like, every time I win a deal or I lose a deal, there it is, just ready to jump in, to make me feel too, miserable or too excited about something. You know what I mean?
It's that inner voice that we have to kind of ignore and surrender to it. Like, the less power that you give this inner voice or critic, who we care so much about, like the things that go into our head that are awful, like we care so much about it when we really shouldn't. It's
it's exactly the opposite. I really don't care about that guy at all. Really, I want to kill it. That's it. As I did in the ayahuasca retreat, I managed to kill it, and but no, it comes back. I don't want him to be in charge, but I think I need it as a tool. I see it as a tool.
Of course you do. Your ego is also helpful. It's just finding the balance and not letting it, everything is a balance. But yeah, for work or fight and flight, that ego, that's very important.
It is, even though we're not in survival mode. So the pituitary gland is not, there's no need to take action, but then it steps in every time you can. So
okay.
Yeah, I will also throw my coin into the chat. I think this is a very important moment, because from many philosophical traditions, we are getting an idea that we need to destroy, we need to kill our ego. But in shamanism, it's not exactly the way how they put it, because shamans believe that ego is a tool that we can use, and then our everyday in our social life, without an ego, we wouldn't be able to operate. We wouldn't be able to achieve any aims. We wouldn't be able to create relationship with people. That's why ego is just a tool that we should use. And during the ceremony, even when we are receiving the experience of dying, the experience of death, this is not really the experience of the death of our ego, but mostly the experience when we can separate ourselves from our ego, and to see that ego is not everything that we have. It's just a tool that we can use, but we are something more. We are the energy, we are the soul, doesn't matter how we call it. We are something that is greater than just our desires, just our fears, just our doubts. And this is the biggest gift. This is the key point, when we can separate ourselves, and then we can see that in these moments of our life, we can just step aside from our ego and let us rest, let us go spiritual, let ourselves to get into the state of meditation. But when we go to work, we can switch it in a second, and we can use our ego as a tool. And that's one of the greatest skills that we can build up during ceremonies, to make the switch, to be all in our ego, and the next moment, just with a snap, we are stepping aside, and we are not allowing the ego to be our master. I think this is something that ayahuasca is showing us, something that she's teaching us, not just to destroy it, because without it we are not going to be able to live our life in a social in the social lives that we have. So that's why I think it's important not to kill it, not to fight with it, but to find a way to use it.
Anyone else got any burning questions before we wind up our ceremony for tonight? We've got Frederick and we've got Alex. Frederick?
Yeah, you just mentioned like when you were talking to Sergio about like fighting, was it fighting the ego? Was that what you were talking about? Or that was the context, right?
That was the context, yeah.
Okay, because Ross, you were comparing it, you were comparing Aikido to other martial arts. Is that what you were doing?
Yes.
Okay, do you practice it?
Yes.
Me too. And it's funny how I started after my second retreat, and I picked it because I knew it was all about finding that harmony.
So much, isn't it, Aikido?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
It just resonated. I haven't had any classes in a few months now because of the lockdowns, and my sensei is over 70. He's not taking any risks.
Okay.
But it's been a great journey so far.
I hope you're still doing a forward roll.
Sorry?
I hope you're still doing a forward roll.
Yeah. I can do that, yeah. Okay.
I can also see a few people on the call who didn't visit our retreats yet, like new faces. So guys, if you're wishing to ask something, just let us know. Okay, before we finish.
And
you can always reach out through one of our social media pages or email us, or we're always available. If something resonated with you, you can reach out and we can discuss it. I block out time in the week to talk to people, so anytime I'm available.
Alec, can you unmute yourself? Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, just from my experience, because of I had such a long history of mental health problems, and I was snapped out of it like that. And not only was I cured, I saw my dad during ceremony, and some ancestors and some friends' dads that had passed, and I was getting messages to give to other people in the group, and it just popped me open like a champagne cork, just. And without sort of giving myself too much of a pat on the back, I'm a very, very strong character, and I showed that just by carry on going and finding something to heal. But I just worry if that happened to somebody else, to come out of mental health problems like that, to see spirit, to give messages to other people, to see this other way of life. Spirit comes to me now. I'm learning now that it's always come for me as a kid, and that was some of my trauma. But I worry about other people. If that happened to other people, other than myself, who was not as mentally strong and as tough as me, how would that affect them? And would they have been able to get through it like I did? Because I did tumble, but I got myself up and I tumbled again, and then the spirits come to me again after the result, and I had lots of things to work out, and it was really, really difficult for me. I did feel very lonely at some points. I just worry going forward, if somebody wasn't as strong as me, how could they be helped if they was opened up like me that quickly?
Yeah, we have had that. We've had one person with bipolar, which we were very worried about, but he was in touch with his psychiatrist. And normally with people with multiple personality, bipolar disorder, these things will experience after highs and lows, so manic lows and highs in the ceremony and then after. So they really need to be close in touch with their doctors and their help. But now we have we're really thorough with who we want to come in, so we really go through that. And then normally I will have a discussion with them face to face through Zoom, and discuss that and make sure that they're talking with their doctors, or that they have someone there or a small integration circle to go through it, because it is challenging and it's not just like a light switch. You will have moments, even weeks, where you can go through this down part, and it's important to have someone. So yeah, that's why we really are more careful. And if it's BPD, normally we're not equipped to handle that. We know that. We know our limits as facilitators and as giving that. So we will either refer them to someone or talk with them about what else they tried before Aya, because that's also a very good conversation to have when someone comes to me and says, I want to try ayahuasca. I'm like, well, what have you tried before? What have we done? Breathing work? Have we done breath work? Have you tried this? Like, there are steps to work up before you get there, especially if you're struggling with a mental health illness. So it's good to be open about that. And if you go to any other retreat, do not hide that from them. Like, your facilitators and shaman need to know what's going on. It's to heal you. It only helps you. So that's just something I would tell everybody, to be very open with that.
Yeah, and I realised I was lucky because I found the right people. So I was really lucky, but it's a shame that other people won't find the right people to have the experience with. And I do.
We've had, I won't name the retreat centers, but we've had, I think, 3, possibly 4 people come from another center that's really well known, that it messed them up. We had a couple that they were having flashbacks, the original PTSD. I won't name the retreat centers, but we've had. Is that repeating something?
I think it's fixed.
Okay, so we have had that where the trauma came back and then new trauma on top of that. So yeah, this does happen. And I've had other people say, I'm so lucky, I didn't know so much about it, but I found you guys. So that's why really researching and doing the education about where you're going and reading like underneath those positive reviews, trying to look through other outlets and blogs and trying to find out what people say, because, you know, of course, they're only going to post the great ones. And then there will be people that have talked about, you know, how they had a bad experience, or how there were 70 people in the room with one shaman, which is just really unethical. And you cannot get to everybody, and one shaman can't. He'll be exhausted. I mean, they are super strong individuals, but they're still human. So yeah, the size of the group, how long the facility has been operating, who's the shaman, those things you really need to research before you go, and then your own mental health, and find out where you are in your life, because it might not be the right time at that time. After you research it, it could be in 6 more months, or it could be in a year. But these are all factors that need to be played by both parties, the participants and then the facilitators and the shamans.
Yeah, just again, thanks for everything you've done for me, because with anybody else, I'm really not sure what would have happened to me. I don't think it would have been a great outcome, if I'm honest. So again, thanks for, and anybody listening, they're in safe hands, and that's the most important thing. And yeah, so.
Alex and Amanda, to your point, let me just share a basic experience I've been having throughout the last year with one particular friend, which is also bipolar. And I tried to take him to an ayahuasca retreat last year. And
I'm not bipolar.
No, but I'm comparing to Amanda's example.
Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah.
He clearly wasn't ready, and I was trying to push him to go to the retreat, and he was fighting me. Then what I did was I simply started to share information with him that he started to consume gradually over the last year. And now, as soon as it got open, he's ready. He just sent me a text last week saying, I'm ready to go with you this year. So give people space, because they might not be ready. So, and you're trying to impose your experience in life that they didn't go through all of that, if you know what I mean. So give them space and the ability to make up their minds. That's all.
And I think
with love, with always love and compassion as
Right.
well, of course.
Yeah, the personal example is also very important, you know, because one thing is when people are just listening to you, but another thing is then when they really see the change that happened in your life, when you come back from the manage to integrate. I think this is a best example for people that they want to follow if they feel that they have some intentions that they want to fulfill. So also, you know, Alex, answering your question from the shamanic point of view, with the right set and setting, with the following of all traditional rules for the ceremony, shamans believe that ayahuasca never gives us something that we are not ready to accept.
Yeah.
So,
To handle.
me as a facilitator, as a person who kind of also is responsible for this traditional sense of ayahuasca, shamans do believe that we need to respect the intelligence of the medicine and let her walk and heal us. Yeah. Ross, what do you think as a therapist? Because this is a very important question, I think, that Alex asked.
I think is both to echo both what Amanda said around about looking at the reviews. What I very much was nodding my head inside as Amanda was saying, you know, 70 people in a room with a light on, with one shaman maybe and a few not skilled facilitators, and that's not helpful. And there's a lot of, they want to give people a large experience so that then they will go home and tell other people that they had a large experience. But when we're looking at mental health, it's actually less is more effective, less more often than smashing the individual with medicine. You know, so I'm echoing both what Boris and Amanda have said. And the forum, the intake forum, when you look at the intake forum now that APL are using compared to other intake forums, we're looking at it from a multi-dimensional perspective. We've been working on the intake forum, we've worked on that, and with so many people flocking to do it, there's now so many different providers, and I think that without going on and on about it, just I know we're getting close to the end, do stringent research. You're taking accountability for your own emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. You're investing your time and your money. So really look carefully when you're going to seek out a provider for ayahuasca. That would be my suggestion. Is that answer the question, Boris? Is that, I'm going to give it over to Boris to close our ceremony. It's been a wonderful circle. It's been so nice to see everyone. And I had one text from a friend just to share with us just before I went. My friend knew I was doing this, and he's a school teacher, and knows nothing about the process, but he's clocked that we were doing this on Facebook, and his message just very simply said, love how everyone in that network of people and connections within their own profession or work is brilliant. It's such a community. People just want to be and do better. And that's somebody coming from a completely different paradigm and completely different lens from what we have been privileged to be part of tonight. And I myself am honoured to see people I know and see people I've not met, and we're all working towards the same intention. It's phenomenal. It's really awesome. So Boris, I'm not going to say too much. Thank you.
Ross, thank you so much. Thanks for all your comments and your knowledge. And every time I'm just enjoying listening to you and your expertise. I think that we have to close this circle, but I assume that in the nearest future we can make one more online talk, and during this talk we can share more about the integrational process, like what happens after the ceremony, how to integrate all this knowledge, how can make the experience as fulfillment as possible. So I just, in the end of this sharing circle, I want to announce that we're definitely going to have something in the nearest future, when maybe we are not just going to share everything, but we will try to prepare something useful for you, something that can help you in your after retreat experience.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. And if someone is really burning to give us the last question, this is a moment when you can let us know. If not, I really appreciate all of you being with us during this online chat, and it's such a pleasure for me to see all of you. I miss all of you a lot, and just to have you here, that's such an amazing inspiration for all our APL team, and it really inspires us to continue our work and to do this online chats and to get ready for retreats that are coming definitely. So I wish all of you strength during this challenging times that we are all experiencing. It will definitely come to an end, and be sure that our thoughts, our wishes, our energy, all of this are with you, and we wish the force to be with you always. All right.
I just want to say goodbye, Ross. Thank you for creating this space. You're incredible. You're great. And we will be doing workshops. So there'll be more of like a workshop base. And I hope Ross works with me on these. So we'll list a title, and it could be what pre-integration looks like, or what post-integration looks like, or journaling. So we will do like a topic-based chat, and you guys can also recommend something, so you can send it to us, and then we can do this. And I see Fred is doing his Palo Santo, so it's definitely time to go. Thank you, everybody. I wish you all love and light, and stay happy.
Bless you all.
Bless.
Thank you for the ceremony.
Thanks for everything you've done for me and my family. Thank you.
Thanks for speaking out, Alex.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All the best.